Hi, this is Mrs. Rogers and some of your other English teachers. We're all here today to talk about your summer reading assignment for 2020. As I said, I'm Mrs. Rogers. I teach English 9 and 10 at the high school. And this summer, I'm going to be reading Mindhunter, which is about the creation of the criminal profiling unit at the FBI.
Hi everyone, Miss Smith here. I teach 11th grade, which is American Lit. And a book that I read recently that I absolutely love is More Myself by Alicia Keys. This is a memoir, which is actually one of my favorite types of books. I love getting glimpses into other people's experiences, and she writes so beautifully and in such a captivating way that I couldn't put this one down.
Hi guys, I'm Miss Goche. If you are lucky enough to have me next year, you'll see my name as Gauthier on your schedule. This summer, I teach sophomore English. This summer, I'm reading The Body by Bill Bryson. And it looks like a big, thick science book, but actually it's written almost like a narrative where you can't put it down. There's so many stories. Did you know that at any point in time, you have 3 million cancerous cells in your body?
Hi everyone, I'm Miss Laughlin. I also teach sophomore English with Mrs. Goche, and this summer I'm reading Feed by M.T. Anderson, and it's a futuristic type book that talks about what would happen if instead of the feed that you get on your cell phone is actually inside of your head. So it might be one that you guys might want to pick up and check out.
Hi everyone, I'm Miss T-Bird, and I teach English 9. Sounds like there's a weird echo. I teach 9th grade English, and I love reading. This is my favorite book that I am also rereading. It's called The Mists of Avalon, and it's by Marion Zimmer Bradley, and it retells the story of King Arthur's legend from the woman's perspective, from the perspective of Morgaine of Avalon. And it's a really good quarantine book because it's like 1,000,000 pages. So I have already read it, but I'm going to reread it this summer. Okay, so we are here to tell you about summer reading. And because we are English teachers, we believe that stories or narratives are foundational or necessary for the human experience. So everyone thrives on stories. And I'm going to give you a negative example. When there's a fight at school in the hallway, not everybody, but many students will flock to watch the fight. And then when they are sent away by mean teachers and administrators, what's the first thing that they do? They look for someone to tell the story to of what happened and why it happened and who was involved. So there are so many ways that we bring stories into our lives, from movies, playing video games, following YouTubers, listening to songs, Instagram stories, family drama. These are all stories. And all that writers do is they take those and they formulate them into a structure and then put them on the page. So that's the only difference between all those other story examples. So you might be wondering why we're torturing you with reading over the summer, especially during a pandemic. And I would argue, what better do you have to do? And all the stories that we're going to give to you are able to be found digitally online, which we'll talk about in just a moment. So this is a way to pass the time, activate your brain, and help you connect with other human beings. So you can do it and have fun, enjoy, and that's all.
So you can find the book list and assignment description on your current English teacher's Google Classroom page. Again, that's on your current teacher's Google Classroom page. This will also include links for you to either borrow or purchase the book, as well as a link to our newly found Groveport Madison English Department YouTube channel.
Okay, so there are 8 books on the list that we would like you to choose from. 5 of the 8 books I've read, so I'm going to talk to you about some of my favorites. The first one of the books on the list is called Just Mercy. And this is it's by Brian Stevenson. He's an African-American lawyer who, growing up in Maryland, he saw racism every day. But when he goes to Mississippi and he starts a law firm, he realizes that there's a lot of African-Americans that are wrongly imprisoned for crimes that they didn't commit, like because the entire town is their alibi. You may have seen this on the silver screen with Michael B. Jordan in it. This is that book, Just Mercy. Another book I want to talk to you about is not have a book cover, but it's called Educated. This is one of my favorite books of all time. It too is a memoir. All of these books are a memoir. And this book is interesting because it's about a girl. Her name's Tara Westover, and she did not go to school, like at all. She never stepped foot in a school, but she became an Oxford scholar. And the reason she didn't go to school is because her parents were those crazy doomsday preppers. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that show where they just prepare for the end of the world all day. That was her life. Another book I can talk to you about. Let's see, what's my next book? Oh, Born a Crime by Trevor Noah. This too is one of my favorite books. Trevor Noah, he's a stand-up comedian. He has a late night TV show. He is from South Africa. If you want perspective of the world, this is the one to read, because up until the 1990s, it was a crime for a Black person and a white person to be seen together, like, period. The title is called Born a Crime because Trevor Noah is mixed. And if he were to be seen in public, he had a lot of explaining to do. Let's just put it that way. This book is hilarious. The tone is very uplifting, even though it's about things like racism. Another book that I want to tell you about is called The Distance Between Us. And it's about a girl, Rihanna Grande, not Ariana Grande, just Rihanna Grande. And when she was 4 years old, she crossed from the border from a small Mexican town. And let's just say it wasn't an easy crossing. Then she grew up in the United States as an immigrant. And this is a harrowing tale of courage. And check it out. I can't tell you more than that, but you got to check that one out. For more in-depth information about the rest of the books on the list, we're going to put another video up on our YouTube channel. So check that out.
All right, so what are you supposed to do with the reading after you've completed it or while you're completing it? We want you to write 3 responses, 1 for the beginning of the book that you choose, 1 for the middle, and 1 for the end. And these responses need to be about 300 words or 1 front page worth of information. And what you're going to include in that is a direct quote. And this is in each of the responses, a direct quote in each of the responses that reflects on the characters and events and really any kind of literary analysis that you'd like to make. And we also want to see that you can make connections from the beginning, middle, and end. And a way to do that is to talk about the plot, talk about the characters, talk about the events or the setting that's taking place and how all those change and connect with each other. And then when you come back to school, preferably the first week, we will be talking about a project that you will be doing with the book that you read and the responses that you created.
If you have any questions about where to find this information, reach out to your current English teacher.